What's going on, everybody? This is Eddie Walker, better yet known as Showtime. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about time management and training. A lot of this stuff has to go along with what is actually your goal. I get asked a question a lot about how I was able to manage, working a full-time job, raising a family, being able to train and fight at such a high level at the time that I was fighting consistently. And one of the main things I used to tell people is you have 24 hours in a day. Nobody gets any bonus hours, so it's all about how efficient can you make your 24 hours yourself. And one of those things that I had to do was create what I call is a life schedule. And that life schedule is pretty much, your way of life. You wake up every day, you do the same thing every day. Everything is very repetitive. So you just have to figure out what works best for you and the situations that you're in. And we're going to talk about those situations, and that may be the wrong word when I refer to, your job, your school, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever just needs your time outside of training. If you don't have any of these things and it's just you, then you ain't got no excuse at all. I'm just going to throw that out there for you, and everybody else that has all this stuff can just slap you around. It makes no sense. Ain't nobody watching the video. But anyway, we'll get back to what we're going to talk about. One of the main things that I had to do was figure out that what is taking up a majority of time throughout my day. And the thing that was taking up a majority of my time was my full-time job. And I realized that between the hours of 6 a.m. and 3 to 3:30 p.m., there was absolutely zero chance that I was going to be able to train, zero chance that I was going to be able to spend time with my family, zero chance for me to do anything other than help, support, and make my work more efficient while I was at the job. So what I had to do is I had to sit back, and then I had to coordinate things with my wife, had to coordinate things with my coaches. I had to coordinate things with the kids. I had to figure these things out to be able to lay out a timeline throughout the day to figure out how I was going to be the most efficient that I could possibly be, but yet still get, everything that I needed to be a professional fighter. So let's go back and let's talk about what are your goals. Do you want to be an amateur fighter? Do you want to be just a person that goes and spars at the gym and one day you eventually want to have, your face on a poster that people can look at and circle and say, hey, I know that guy. It's all about what you want as a fighter. Where my goal was I wanted to be a world champion. I wanted to be the best that I could possibly be. And the only way that I could possibly do that was to be selfish with my time as far as my training, but also be giving to my wife and my kids, and also to my coach. So it's a very hard balance, but once you figure it out, the rewards are astronomical. And to be 100% honest with you, there is no way in the world I would have been able to do any of that stuff without the love and support of my wife. She was the one that was willing to step up when I wasn't able to be at home for the training times to help with the kids. She was the one that told me, I'll sacrifice a little bit of quality time for you to get that little bit of more training in because you have such a big fight coming in. And I would not have been able to do any of that without her, first off. So if you have a significant other in your life and they are not 100% supportive of you, of a schedule that you need to create, then you probably need to sit down with them and try to come up with a schedule together. It's going to be more of a dual schedule, because if you don't have their support, then that's probably going to tear you down more than anything. So just go ahead and get that out of the way. Just kind of give you the background on where I stand on that actually. So one of the main things that was asked to me was by a professional fighter, and it kind of bothered me a little bit because they have the title professional in front of the fighter word. So, and the question was, Eddie, what time do you get up in the morning, man? What time do you get up and go train? What do you do? And so I asked them back, I said, well, what time do you get up? And their response to me was 10 o'clock in the morning. What the hell are you doing sleeping so late? You know how much shit I get done before 10 o'clock in the morning? So that right there was already a bad sign. So I had to tell them, I was like, 10 o'clock is way too late to be sleeping in, especially if you don't have a regular job to where you have a block schedule to where you have to actually be somewhere, to where when you create your own schedule, there's no way you should be sleeping until 10 o'clock in the morning. It just shouldn't happen if you want to call yourself a professional fighter. Now, if you want to say you're a professional fighter just for the sake of saying it, then, by all means, do what you do. But if you want to say you're a professional fighter for the sake of being a world champion professional fighter, you got to change a little bit of things in your plan throughout the day. So I told the individual, I said, you know what? I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go do my run, which is usually about 3.5 miles. I then go home. I take a shower. I fix my breakfast. I then go to work by 6 and get off of work. Then I find my training, do all that, and then I go home and I'm with the family. So after explaining this to this individual, he actually took my information and he started changing up his training a little bit better. He didn't sleep in as much, started actually training a little bit harder. He started realizing that he had a lot more time throughout the day than he realized because he was so busy just, chilling and relaxing at the gym, sitting on the couch. Oh, I'm at the gym, so I'm working out, I'm doing something because I'm here. But in reality, you're doing nothing. Why would you hang out at the gym if you're not going to be doing anything? Go to the gym, put your work in, leave, go do other things that need to be dealt with. Make your time more efficient. There's no sense in wasting 2 to 3 hours at a gym if you're not going to be doing anything. Just because you want to hang out and talk to your friends and so forth, it doesn't do anything for your career if your main goal is to be a world champion or to be a champion of any sort. You have to put in the time. You have to manage your time efficiently. So next thing I want to talk about is when you're at the gym, actually put in the work. Your time is there, so if you're there to just, be there and to be a socialite and, and just talk, hey, look at me, I'm kicking the pads. Nobody cares that you're kicking the pads. Kick the pads with 100%. That's time management. Use your time efficiently. Don't go to the gym and say, I'm going to be a world champion, and then you're over there half-assing on the pads. It doesn't work that way. Put in the work. All right? One last thing I want to talk about is this life schedule thing. So what I would like you to do is when you get an opportunity, if you need to come back and watch this video, I fully understand, but get a piece of paper and I want you to write down timelines from, 12 o'clock a.m. all the way to 11:59 p.m. And what I need you to do is to write down the key things that you do throughout the day. And those key things should be, what time do you wake up in the morning? What time do you go to school, to work, whatever it is that you do in the morning, because those are key items that have to be addressed. What time do you eat lunch? What time do you get off of work? What time do you get out of school? What time do you get done with your homework? What time do you have to be at home with the kids? What time do you need to be home with the wife or the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the husband? Or, what time do you need to be at the gym? You need to figure these things out and then take a look at that schedule that you wrote out, and then take a look at all the blank slots and see all the time that you're wasting. Because when you're sitting there playing on your phone for an hour or two and you're not even realize that time is gone, that's time that you could have possibly used to make yourself better. I've seen on numerous occasions where professional fighters are in the ring or the cage or whatever martial art they're fighting in, and then by the end of the first round, they're dead tired. Their legs, they can't even stand up no more. They can hardly breathe. Their mouth is wide open. And that is the first sign that shows that you are not using your time efficiently, and you are also not taking your training seriously. So that goes on to two things. One, you're not putting in the work for it. And two, your coaches are not making you put in the work for it. Something's got to change. You can't sit here and say that you want to be a professional fighter or you want to be whatever, but yet at the end of the first round, you're dead tired. You can't even continue on. There's no excuse for that. Zero excuse. Okay? So we need to make sure that we are managing our time efficiently. It's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only way you're going to improve. Things are going to happen. Things are going to need to be adjusted. It's just part of it. It's part of life. You just have to figure it out. But the main thing you have to get together is what is going to be your life schedule. Find out what time you need to get up in the morning. Find out what time you need to be at work or school. Find out what time you need to be with a significant other. Find out what time you need to be with the kids. Write these things out. Get with your partner. Figure these things out. And once you get it laid out, you'll find out that you're going to develop so much faster because you now are no longer wasting time, but you are now using that time to create a better you. And that is the main goal, is to create a better you, and not just you create an illusion that you're claiming to be, when in fact you could actually be that by putting in the time, putting in the work. So if anybody else has any questions for me, if I missed something, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of information I could have added in there, but I don't want to make this video too long. But you can contact me on Facebook at Eddie Showtime, contact me on Twitter, Eddie Showtime, contact me on Snapchat, Eddie Showtime. You can even hit me up on Instagram at Eddie Showtime. Send me the questions. I'll try to answer them the best that I possibly can. And hope to hear from you soon. And good luck, and make sure that you do your timeline. Peace.